ready for another lesson?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Back Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Schwartz, and on today's episode, we have 3 new projects in the works. We'll get to that in the news. Trailer talk this week is nothing. We do not have any trailers coming. We'll get to the streaming, of course. Netflix is getting some Nickelodeon classics that might be worth checking out. What we're watching, and then the main review for the episode is Lightyear. But before we get to any of that, I'm joined today, of course, by Nebula Nathaniel Gingrich.
What up, everyone? I'm Nebula Nathaniel. Not to be confused with the Marvel hero of the same name. I'm actually a cluster of stars. I think that's what a nebula is.
A cloud of gas and dust in outer space, visible in the night sky either as an indistinct bright patch or as a dark silhouette against other luminous matter.
Well, there you go. I'm a cloud of dust.
Yeah, there you have it. Space dust, though.
Space dust.
Spust. Makes it sound cool. Spust. Trademark?
Get working on it now.
All right. Also joining us today is Turn Up Ty, Tyler Vidalis.
Turnips.
Turn up.
Do you guys like turnips?
I don't know if I've ever had a turn up.
That was my response. I don't know if I've ever had one.
Interesting.
I certainly have not.
Okay.
Not for me. But I do agree with the fact that the ship does look like a turnip.
It does look like a turnip.
I think Roscoe Dash said something about turning up.
I also would have brought that up in the design briefing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I think he would have pointed that out immediately, knowing you,
100%.
as I do. Turn up Ty.
Doesn't seem like the most practical shape for a spaceship, right?
I mean, it's very aerodynamic.
Maybe.
Yeah?
I don't know.
I call it the Kiss. Hershey's Kiss.
Yeah.
I guess it's more bulbous, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it does feel a little more bulbous. Not as
bit.
much shaved off the top, more of a...
Kind of looks like a Bulbasaur seed pod on the back of that guy.
Okay. Good to see that as well. Rounding out the squadron, of course, is Big Buzz BlakeHolder.
What up?
How you doing this week, man?
Good, man. Good. Not too bad. Feels weird recording earlier in the day. I don't know why I feel like it's a totally different day. We're so used to recording like at nighttime.
I know it's a rare occasion where there's daylight out and we're recording, but nonetheless, I'm an hour ahead. I still have some daylight out here, so it's interesting. But I feel like way more productive this way. I've had a very productive day, and the fact that I won't have to get off of this and edit until midnight and then go to bed is oh, maybe I'll do something with my night.
For sure, I hear you, man. Keep the productive day rolling.
Yeah, I know. Go ahead.
Lost my train of thought. It was on the turn up Ty, and then Nathaniel brought up. I think Roscoe Dash has something to do with turn up. Over under, all the way turned up. Roscoe Dash featuring Soulja Boy YouTube views. Nathaniel, 20 million. Over under.
Oh, under. I think yeah, just barely. Unless it was just everyone used it for their high school walkout music or something, so it's got just 1 billion views.
It's you're both right. It's under 18 million.
Okay,
18. And that's
still a lot.
It says posted 12 years ago.
18 million is still a lot.
Yeah, man.
Now I know who Soulja Boy is, but I'm less familiar with Roscoe Dash. Was that what you said?
Oh my God, you don't know that song?
No, I mean I probably heard it if you showed
Yeah, he's probably heard it.
I guess. Yeah.
What is it called?
Turn up.
I think it's called All the Way. All the way turned up.
All the way turned up.
Yeah.
Turn up.
Man, that's one of those songs where just you had to be there. That's the cliche thing to say, but it was if you were
here we go.
If you were of age in 2010, 2009. Yeah, that's funny, man.
ROSCOE.
Yeah, I've definitely heard this. Yeah. I don't know if
Listeners,
any listened to it much before.
If you've never heard it, check out All the Way Turned Up, Roscoe Dash, featuring Soulja Boy.
Yeah.
And then
That's
after
funny.
that, look up what's Vin Diesel's song called?
Oh,
man.
Feel Like I Do? Feels Like I Do?
Feel Like I Do?
Feels Like I Do. I think Feel Like I Do is the Peter Frampton song.
Something like that.
See.
You just search up
But it feels like I
Vin
do.
Diesel.
Wasn't that the one that we got copyright struck on YouTube or something like that? Yeah.
Yep.
So over under YouTube views on that 5 million.
Under. I'm going under again.
I want to go over. I feel like
it is Vin Diesel though.
You feel the power in the Vin
It
army?
could be over. I feel like it could be over.
It's under 1.7.
Man.
1.7.
That's way
Oof. Who knows? Maybe it'll have a late career resurgence, like
Yeah.
All the Way Turned Up.
Anyway,
Away.
let's turn on over to the news here, guys. First news story of the day: Neill Blomkamp. Blomkamp. It's an interesting one. Gran Turismo movie lands August 2023 release in theaters. He has been tapped by Sony Pictures, nonetheless, to create a Gran Turismo video game movie adaptation. Okay. Is kind of my initial reaction. I don't know who's asking for a racing movie based on a video game. At that point, isn't it just a car movie? Like, why does it have to? I mean, maybe you just want to play with the Gran Turismo IP. And
Have
hope
you
that
never
attracts
seen
people, but
Need for
they've
Speed?
got Need for Speed. Yeah. Daniel beat me.
Need for Speed. That's true.
I got a way you make this cool. You make it Death Race.
Okay.
Isn't that a movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't think Neill Blomkamp and I don't think, like, Gran Turismo, sleek, shiny cars, you know? I think, like, fucking District 9, people with, you know, prawn arms growing out of their bodies. And, like, everything he's ever done with Oats Studio is all that crazy body horror. He's always the guy that's on tap to do, like, you know, Aliens or something like that. They always want him to do something gross and sci-fi, hard sci-fi with him. Let it do Death Race. Take Gran Turismo. Everyone picks a car, and then you got to drive it across country and hope you survive. But then I want like people like building car parts into him and shit by like you know, Nebraska or something. Like you're using your own blood to fuel the car or something.
I was like, you're getting awfully close to.
Yeah, just District 9. You just want District 9.
I want District
9 Mad Max.
I want District 9 Mad Max,
Yeah.
Fast and
Mad
Furious.
Max movie.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want the Fast and Maxius, and of District 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's funny when you actually break down Mad Max to its core. It's like they're just driving shit.
Oh, it's a race. The whole thing's a car chase.
It's a death race.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I don't really know who's necessarily asking for this. I guess Sony. Just
maybe it's one of those things where it's like, hey, if you make this for us, we will let you finally make, you know, the Alien reboot you want or something, or you know, maybe he's got to get one for them, one for you, one for me, kind of thing.
That'd be cool. Let's hope that's the case.
How about 2 for you, 1 for me? How about none for you? Or all for you, none for me. Yeah, I will remain open to this movie, but I don't know. It's like, can you really is there anything special about Gran Turismo that makes it worth putting into a movie, or are we just doing a racing movie has the name of a video game?
Well, they're doing the Sony universe now, right? Because you have your Sonic. What was the one? Uncharted.
Yeah.
And then they're doing the Last of Us TV show, and then weren't they doing something else as well too? That was one of their IPs. I could have sworn we talked about it on the podcast at some point.
I don't know.
Like an Astrobot game or something, or not Astrobot game, Astrobot cartoon or something, or there was something else.
I don't remember exactly. There might be another thing in the works.
But yeah, I don't know. That's why I think they're doing this, though. I mean, I think it's just Sony trying to do their own stuff.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. to me don't see why this is necessary.
But maybe it's one of those things where it's so bland, like kind of to my point of Death Race 2000. Like maybe it's going to be something that's just kind of so bland that they can kind of just let him do what he wants with it. You know, that because there isn't really any kind of character to the Gran Turismo games besides going out and getting your car and racing it. He can kind of just do something different. Who knows?
Okay. Just takes a whole different spin on it or something like that.
Yeah.
I could see that happening. I don't know what kind of storyline you're going to take with this. Something that they mentioned in the article from... Go ahead.
Nothing. I was just going to make a smart-ass comment.
Okay. Something they mentioned in the article is that they potentially will do like a video game player becomes professional driver storyline, like win some competition to then become like a driver, which is something apparently they did in real life at some point in like Europe. I don't know the exact story behind that, but that was like the one idea kind of thrown out there as far as like what they can do with this.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Nobody wants this movie.
Yeah, not really. And the other thing that's interesting to me as well is like it doesn't feel like we have much information on this, but it's also coming out in like a year. August 2023.
All right, here I'm going back onto my Death Race idea. It is Death Race, but it's a virtual Death Race in which you like are on the VR headset and you get locked in, and everyone is on their Gran Turismo, and then if you crash, you die.
It's sort of online, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, is it like Stay Alive but Death Race?
Yes.
I'm fine with that.
We'll figure. I'm sure he'll figure something out.
I'm just saying, get body horror in there somehow. I don't know why. That's just what I want in this. I want cars, and I want humans, and I want them mashed together like a really awful Transformers situation.
Who knows? It's not even like that far out there to do something wild with the IP. But I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, a more beloved IP, something I'm more excited about. We have 3 Avatar: The Last Airbender films set at Paramount with Nickelodeon. So they have the original co-creators, Brian Konietzko and Michael DiMartino.
Who left the Netflix thing.
Yes, they left the Netflix project, which is still in development, which I've actually seen quite a bit about recently with like actors of the show coming out and saying like they are trying very hard to remain faithful, and it's like they're fans and they're, they are fans of the show, say that, like the original, and they're very pleased with how they're handling this. What'd you say? I
said, well, they would say that, wouldn't they?
They would, but it makes me feel better than they came out.
Yeah, right. I know.
Yeah, like this is rough.
I don't have a lot of faith in Netflix right now after the whole like Cowboy Bebop, Squid Games fiasco. They seem to be making all the dumb choices.
And now that's the password sharing stuff, and I don't know. Netflix is in a weird spot for me personally, and it seems like you as well, Nathaniel. But anyway, this is going to be coming to Paramount instead, so I'm not sure how the licensing is working here. I'm assuming it's like Konietzko and DiMartino seem to be in somewhat of control, as they were the ones to initially give it to Netflix, and now they're giving it to Paramount.
Well, it was Nickelodeon originally. It was a Nickelodeon show originally anyways, too, so I'm sure there's something with that as well, too.
There's probably something there, too. But the interesting thing here is it doesn't say if it's animated or live action.
I would assume it's animated.
And that's what I'm saying is I think it would probably be animated. I don't think they want to do, if they already have the Netflix show coming out that's live action, I don't think they're going to want to try and do another live action movie. Budget-wise, I think it's much safer, of course, to do animation, so I wouldn't be shocked if these were animated movies. Now, that being said, are they going to, do you think they make a sequel series? Do you think they do a Evangelion rebuild and they just redo the movie, the show into 3 movies?
I doubt it. I don't think they have the balls.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would imagine it's probably either a sequel or a prequel.
Okay. Do we see what's her face? What's the sequel called? Korra? That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Somewhere between there. Maybe it's in between those. I don't know.
Well, that wouldn't work in the line.
They can't technically exist at the same time.
True. Good point. I don't know. Maybe somewhere in between there though.
Well, I guess they could potentially both be people, but I don't think she can obtain her avatar powers until Aang is.
Well, yeah,
paired.
but then isn't it the Avatar has to die and then it's born into a new baby?
Maybe it is born, but either way, I know. At one point you can't have two avatars. They have to.
Yes.
But yes.
Well, it sounds like a storyline waiting to happen. There's two avatars for some reason. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I guess we'll see where that goes. This is just announced basically, so it's gonna be a while before we see these, and we're gonna be seeing that live action show. I think sooner than we think, because that was actually one of the first news stories we reported on when we started the podcast about 2 years ago. And obviously, time has passed, and they've done production on it. I wouldn't be shocked if we see a trailer sometime within the next 6 months or so. That's kind of my guess. I feel like they'd have one out by then.
I think that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, but we'll see where that goes. And then our last new project announcement is one, even as a fan, I'm a little apprehensive of a Game of Thrones Jon Snow sequel series in development at HBO. And this will be Jon Snow following the events of the original show after he is, I guess spoilers, but exiled essentially from Westeros to the north of the wall with the wildlands, basically, and it's going to be following that storyline after the events of the show. With Kit Harington reprising his role, of course. I don't think they'd be that dumb to replace him. But thoughts?
Don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, you all know I don't care. I didn't even watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I guess it just kind of echoes everything we talk about. It's just like, stop making spin-offs of shit. Like, just give us original ideas. And like, I feel like everything now is just becoming gigantic universes, where anything that seems to be let's say anything that is very profitable,
right?
They're just going to continue making spin-offs, which obviously it makes sense, right, from a revenue standpoint and a business standpoint. But it, like, I don't know, sucks as a viewer sometimes.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's kind of like on the fence, because obviously Jon Snow is a really great character, and Kit Harington is a really good actor, and I really like that character. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's anytime you build on a new universe or just try and use like the same character, it's always going to feel like a money grab, because Game of Thrones has obviously kind of lost a little bit of its sizzle. They're obviously coming out with a new show, so they're kind of trying to re-up it, but now they're also trying to announce this. So it's like, well, I don't really need this yet. Don't oversaturate me with it yet. Just let me at least see if I even enjoy the spinoff that you're currently doing, and then maybe we can kind of go from there. But whatever.
Seems like they're just doing a lot without people really asking for it, almost, because obviously they know there are still Game of Thrones fans out there. I'm definitely one of them. But I like what you said, Ty, where it's like, let me see what the first sideshow anthology show is, and then let's go from there. Because if that busts, I don't know who if that busts after the season 8 bust of Game of Thrones, like, what does anyone care at that point? Like, you were going to just even lose even more fans and put even more money into a show that people really aren't going to enjoy, and could potentially like tarnish more of what Game of Thrones was for those first 6 or 6.5 seasons.
It just ended too. Like, it was 3 years ago.
Yeah,
2019,
right?
2019 that this thing ended. Like,
yeah,
and like, in just spoilers for an old show too, he's already died in universe once. So like, what the fuck's the tension going to be there? Like, oh, he's gonna die again.
Attack on Titan.
And then like, and then it's just gonna be the other thing too, is just like how, and other people have talked about this as well, but like, how far into the sequel until we're like, oh, well, here comes Arya Stark too. She's gonna go see what the brother's up to, and wait till season 3, because that's when we'll get Sansa back too for 4 episodes. I just don't.
Oh, and there's Samuel Tully.
I don't give a shit. I don't care.
Now, were you guys all fans of Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Oh, huge fans.
Yeah.
But now I'm just a fan of Kit Harington saying Thanos. and I want to see him say Thanos again. So I want him to come back. Yeah. Screw Eternal or Game of Thrones. Go fight Thanos.
Screw Eternals too. That's fine. You can finish that sentence.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, screw Eternals. Just put him in the Blade movie.
But still.
Oh, there's an idea.
But still shunning Thanos.
All right, well, we'll have to see where this show goes. Unfortunately, all three of these projects are pretty far out. We won't see any of them too soon. Yeah, man. And we'll have to just look out and see how the House of the Dragon show is later this August. But that being said, if you don't want to wait till August, you don't want to wait till the future, you can get things on the streaming services. And there's new things coming every week. This is Adam Schwartz's completely subjective new streaming list for the week of June 19th through the 25th. For those of you who do not know, this list is just a compilation of everything I feel like is worth watching that's coming to the streaming services, because there's a lot of garbage out there, and this is somewhat filtered, but in a subjective way. Netflix is getting It Chapter 1. This is the original, but it's coming to Netflix. And then here are the two Nickelodeon shows that I was referencing before: Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide Seasons 1 and 2, and Zoe 101 Seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
That's awesome.
Classics.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Yeah.
Blake, a big on-record Zoe 101 fan.
Yeah, dude, for sure. That. And a big Neds fan, too.
I love Neds, right?
Yeah.
He's on, the guy who plays Neds on TikTok, and he was saying how, like, not too long ago, he went to Nickelodeon and pitched, like, a Ned's Declassified Adult Survival Guide. It's just, like, him, like, in his 20s, like, trying to figure out life, basically, and it's, like, you know, made for the audience, grown up, basically, like, same audience, but grown up. And, like, they shut it down and, like, didn't want to do anything with it, and I was like, I would watch that 100%. Like, that could be done so well. Almost, it would kind of. I feel like they could do like a or it'd be like a How You Met Your Mother style kind of show, something like that maybe.
Didn't they give iCarly a reboot, like an adult reboot?
They did.
And they couldn't give my boy Ned one, man. That's
right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Also coming to Netflix, The Umbrella Academy Season 3. I'm personally not a fan, but I know it's a pretty popular show, so if you're interested, that's there for you. And then The Man from Toronto. Kevin Hart and Woody Harrelson star in this new action comedy.
I haven't seen anything on that. But I'd be
I haven't either, which is wild.
Kevin Hart and Woody Harrelson.
Exactly. I feel like those are two very like eccentric comedians in their own right, and obviously Woody Harrelson more of an actor than a comedian in some regards, but still very funny and charismatic. I think those two would be funny together. So
have you guys checking out? Have you guys been hearing about this movie on Netflix, Spiderhead?
No.
I have watched the preview and I want to watch it.
Yeah. So it's a movie directed by Joseph Kosinski. Starring Chris Hemsworth
Top Gun
and Miles Teller, and Netflix has just not promoted it at all. Like,
I saw my dad for Father's Day, and that was like, "Hey, Dad, happy Father's Day!" Talking sports, yada yada, movies, and the first thing was like, "Have you seen this movie?" Like, you know what I mean? And, so it was. I think that might.
Is it a new movie?
Yeah,
dude. So we got my dad an OLED for Father's Day. I think that was the first movie he said he watched. And he said it's really good. So
which OLED? How's he liking it?
A80.
Okay.
65 A80. Yeah. So he says he likes it. But that's the movie he said he watched. And he was like, dude, you gotta watch this movie.
Tyler, you said you watched the trailer.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, I got to get to it. I put that on my list for this week. So.
All right.
I definitely want to get to it for sure.
Yeah. It's got your boy in it, Adam.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And I'm becoming a Kosinski fan, one movie at a time here. We had Tron, and then we have, Top Gun, and he's doing a Formula One movie, which I saw a headline confirmed that he's going to do the same kind of practical effects with Maverick that he did with Formula One. So that's exciting news as well.
Yeah.
Moving on here, Amazon Prime and Hulu don't have much coming for you. HBO Max is getting Chernobyl: The Lost Tapes. This is a documentary. So more Chernobyl content, but in a different format, I guess, coming to HBO. If you haven't seen Chernobyl, the limited series, highly recommend that. 5 episodes, short and sweet, but also very gripping. So definitely worth checking out there. Disney Plus is getting Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 6. So is that the finale, or is there one more?
It is.
That will be it.
Okay. And then Miss Marvel episode 3.
Not the
Doctor
finale.
Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, I believe, comes tomorrow, or I guess the day this is up today. That's coming to Disney Plus, which is wild because I feel like that just came out.
That seems so fast. Yeah.
45 days, man. 45 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess so.
You had your chance, listeners. Now you have to watch it on Disney Plus.
Yeah. And then they're getting Rise. This is a Giannis Antetokounmpo documentary, which I'm actually kind of intrigued by.
Yeah, it's got a good story.
Yeah, he's got a great story, right?
Yeah,
gotta love Giannis.
Yeah, that might be one that actually might get me to click Disney Plus, to be honest with you.
Is he a basketball player?
Yes.
Yeah, he's the guy on the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
So, and arguably the best player in the NBA right now. I mean, I think a lot of people would say so.
Yeah, I think a lot.
I think he'll have a good story.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, we can get into what we're watching here then, guys. Tyler, why don't you kick us off this week?
Yeah, dude. I can do that for sure, dude.
A bit of a
it's not a. Thanks, man. It's not a short list by any means, but it's definitely not like super long. So Carolia had a friend come into town. Her name is Kelsey. Hi, Kelsey. I'm sure you'll never listen to this, but what's up? She came into town, so she actually slept over on Sunday night, going into Monday, and we ended up watching a classic for them, which is Bridesmaids, which I got nothing against. Always funny. That's a classic kind of comedy that I think anybody would have a hard time not laughing in. But that's always fun. I have been watching a new anime on Netflix. It's called Spriggan. It's pretty cool. It's very deep. From a religious kind of standpoint, like they're very implementing into kind of like what, like Noah's Ark is in there at one point. They kind of refer back to like why God created like certain things, but like these guys have like some absurd powers, so obviously
right,
it's a little, but it's cool. It's
just
it's a good show,
just like Earth, just like us. Yeah.
And but essentially there's like these artifacts. There's like, oddly enough, a crystal skull. There's like certain like stone tablets, kind of like the 10 Commandments, that like everybody's kind of like fighting for, and you'll see like the Japanese government, who is the Spriggans, and then you'll also see like the Americans getting involved, and obviously they're just big muscular dudes who always have guns.
Sure.
But it's pretty good. Really good animation. I really enjoy the fact that episodes are like 45 minutes instead of like 20 minutes. But it's been pretty enjoyable so far.
Cool.
I have gotten to Stranger Things, and I finished the 4th season.
Fourth season,
really
part
great.
1.
Yeah.
You mean?
Really, really great. I've been thoroughly enjoying myself throughout the beginning of this, and I think they've finished out part 1 very well, and I'll be excited to see what they have for part 2. But very, very good from a horror, body gore, kind of sense of things, and I was thoroughly enjoying myself. I did get around to Obi-Wan, and I also got around to Miss Marvel, as I'm sure Nathaniel did. I don't know if anybody else got around to either of those.
I'm not.
Nope.
Okay.
Yep,
Right.
I watched them though.
I will say, I'll tease my list. I did get to episode 3 of Obi-Wan, but have not caught up yet.
All right. What are your thoughts kind of so far on Obi-Wan?
I love it. Yeah.
Either one of you can go. I know you're through through episode 3, but Nathaniel, you're caught up, right?
Correct.
Yeah, Nathaniel, you go first. Your opinion more valid than mine.
Episode 5, I think, has been the best episode of the season so far, and if you look at the writing team behind that, I think that makes sense, seeing as Andrew Stanton was brought in to write these last 2 episodes as well, and he's very good. So, That's my my newest review of Obi-Wan episode 5, but definitely watch it.
You still enjoying Miss Marvel?
Yeah, actually a lot too. I really, really enjoyed episode 2 as well. Seems like we're going more into that universe. Just a more light show than a lot of the other Marvel shows, I would say, overall. Doesn't feel nearly as big as stakes or anything like that. So 2 thumbs up for me so far. I find her very enjoyable, and I like her family.
I would agree. I agree on both fronts. The only other 2 things I got to was, you guys know me, I like to cook. I do enjoy cooking shows. I'm probably like one of the only people that does enjoy those. But I've been watching Iron Chef on Netflix as well.
I like this journey for you. You're just moving through the cooking shows. We had kitchen
I've
nightmares.
always had a fascination with cooking shows.
Oh, yeah.
It's very artistic, and I love food, and it's really cool. And now I'm kind of on this path of like how I can cook my own food, because there's obviously food out there from places that I really like, but obviously
Sure.
if you cook it, you get to control it a little bit more as to like what's in there. And from a health standpoint, I wanna be around for a little bit, and I'm not gonna let shitty food take me down that path.
Yeah.
I always found it really ironic that those like the kitchen shows are always called things like Iron Chef, Cutthroat Kitchen, like Kitchen Nightmares, Murder, Butcher. And then you have like the hunting shows that are like A Walk in the Woods or like Nature's Conservation. Like, and there's just these really weird balance between the two. Why do all the aggressive people work for kitchen shows is my question.
Hilarious. But I agree. The only other show that like is hunting is what is that one? Meat Eater?
Yeah, that's the exception that proves the rule. But that's a Netflix show, so that's they're there to disrupt.
Which is also cool because that actually goes through him hunting and then cooking what he hunts.
That is true, yeah.
So
see, it's a best of both worlds scenario.
Exactly, and he's really great. And then the last thing I got around to is I've been trying to utilize my Formula One app a little bit more, because there's actually a lot of did we have a race this weekend? We did have a race this weekend. I watched
Montreal.
that
Grand Prix, man. It was a great race.
So yeah, I've you pay a lot of money for that on an annual basis, and I just figured I'll try and use it as much as I possibly can. But there's a small documentary series on there called Chasing the Dream, and it's about Formula 2, which is pretty cool. And you get to kind of see these kids come up from Formula 3 to Formula 2, and kind of their more or less a mental journey trying to get into F1, and kind of like what that process looks like and what they're going through. So that's also been really, really fun.
Yeah, that sounds really dope.
Yeah. But Nathaniel, you can go ahead. We obviously have a few things in common.
For sure, yeah. I also finished off Stranger Things episode 7. Really enjoyed this season so far. They won me back over just when I thought I was out. They drew me back in. So kudos to you, Stranger Things, and I will watch more of your show when it comes out for part 2. Also, Kenobi episode 5 or whatever that was, and Miss Marvel episode 2. I also finished that series Fight World on Netflix that I was talking about last week. Cool show. Wish they did more of it. But what else did I get to? Listen to a lot of podcasts because I was driving a lot this weekend. So there was that. Book Cheat. Fun podcast if you ever like books. But and then I also watched a movie. I don't know, Blake, if you've ever heard of this, but it was a horror movie that came out in 2006, maybe 2009, called Martyrs.
Yeah. I have. So I haven't watched it. That's one that's like on my short list of movies that I know I got to get to. And that's actually one that people say is like one of the more like gruesome movies, right? Yeah. So know all about it, seen clips of it and everything. I just got to sit down and get to it. What are your thoughts though?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely like you can see the like high tension like hostile era in it too, for sure. Little healthy dose of Saw in there too as well. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. It was enjoyable as far as like horror. It's definitely like a horror buffs movie, though. You're not gonna show that one to like your normal friends or something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
It is definitely gruesome, and unlike a movie like, I don't know, Requiem for the Dream or something that can go into gruesome territory, it's just the whole does not make up the sum of its parts or something like that, except for guys like us.
I'm with you. Like I said, that's one I've seen all the horror community and whatnot. That's a foreign film as well, though, right?
Yeah, also French.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So yeah, definitely check out that one. I think it was $6 on Apple, so I just bought it off there.
Okay, finally broke down.
Yeah, I was just like, whatever, it's worth it. So did that, and don't bother with the remake, which I think came out in like 2014 or something. Like, just even from
is it an American remake? I'm sure it is.
It may not be like American, but it has like it's like English or something like that. It's not the original guys or anything. Anything to do with it. Yeah.
Okay. I'll give the original a try, but good to know that you think highly of it, right? I guess it's as advertised. Right,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's where it is for like a reason, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What else did I get to? I rewatched Joker for the first time since seeing it in theaters. Nice. I don't know why. I guess I was just in a crazy mood. But I enjoyed it more this time. I will say that. I still don't love it. Like, I have such a weird relationship with that movie too, because I just remember when everyone thought it was going to be like the greatest thing in the world, and like critics were like, "There's never been a comic book movie like this." It's like, well, you haven't read a lot of comics, and like, that's really obvious now. But for what it is, I think it's a pretty interesting take on the role. Obviously, Joaquin Phoenix doing a lot of really cool stuff there. Really well shot, really well. Really, really cool soundtrack is the other thing I was thinking of. Still think there's issues with it, but for sure, as a neat little side piece of the Marvel or the DC universe, I'm with it. Do more of it. Yeah. We'll see what happens with that second one. I hope they just make it a really shitty musical. I hope the Joker raps. I hope he comes out and Jared Leto
comes out and raps.
And it's just like some like weird Machine Gun Kelly style rapping too, or something.
I think I'm in.
Yeah, and then you've got Lady Gaga, just A Star Is Born in the background.
Lady Gaga.
It's Lady Gaga. But yeah, and then what else did I get to? I watched Luca, the Pixar movie that came out on Disney Plus. It's really cute. It's really just a nice little movie. And I remember I looked up some of the trivia on it, and the guy was saying that he's really inspired by Hayao Miyazaki films and Studio Ghibli stuff. And if you watch that movie with that in mind, you can definitely see that in terms of it not being like super high stakes or like, they're not trying to save the world or anything. It's just two dudes that want a Vespa, just two homies that want a Vespa, and they want to win it in a bicycle race, and it's just delightful. So good movie. Go watch it. It probably should have come out in theaters, but who knows? And then I also saw Lightyear as well. But I will kick him on over to Blake to hear what he done watched this week.
Yeah. Well, first, dude, solid list with you getting to Martyrs and rewatching Joker.
Yeah.
So even Joker, that's one that I actually own that on Vudu, and I bought it like when it first came out, and it's always one like, oh, I should watch that, and I just never click it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So that might be something be worthwhile to get on there. And shout out Zazie Beetz as well. She's in that movie.
Amazing.
What did I get to? I watched Brightburn for the first time.
Oh, wow.
So
I always thought
got to that.
Not scary enough to be a good scary movie and not superhero-y enough to be a good superhero movie.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, I don't mind it. It's not great by any means. And obviously Brightburn is like, I don't know, for the listeners, right? It's like it's the Superman tale, and this alien baby crash lands in a rural Kansas area, Midwestern area. The parents find him, and they don't raise him to be Superman. The kid finds out he has superpowers, and he's like, fuck this, nobody can stop me. I'm going to take over the world, which is probably how that would go, to be honest with you. But yeah, it was cool. Really gory.
Very
like
gory.
it got way more gory than I
Yeah.
thought it was. You know what I mean? So it was. I appreciated it for that. It's okay. The mom is like too mom for me.
Right.
Of like, what do you mean? My son would never do that. And it's like, lady, you've seen your son do these crazy things. And like, you know what I mean? So it was okay.
Your son's an insect. I hate to break it to you.
Yeah.
he's got some sort of hive mind.
Yeah. So, it was good. It was good because you could see that's definitely how that story would portray if a Superman type figure came to Earth. So yeah, that was okay. Outside of that, I got to Old for the first time. So finally watched that. M. Night Shyamalan. That's from 2021, I believe. Brightburn's 2019. And Old's on HBO Max. Finally got to that, and it was. I don't know, man. I don't think I like it.
No,
I think I'll just
It's
say
not.
no.
It's not good. It's
No,
not.
I don't like it.
Good.
Yeah.
I've heard the comic that it's based off of is like super bleak and just like nihilistic as fuck. But
yeah. So I did some digging on it after so I kind of watched his thoughts on it, and his takeaway is very similar. But I mean, it wasn't good. But to be honest, I didn't have a good feeling about it. That's why I probably waited a year and a half to even watch it.
Sure.
You know, yeah. I like Alex Wolff though, so that was good to be able to see him in another horror movie. Pretty quick turnaround from Hereditary. Thomasin McKenzie's in there as well. That's the lead in what did we watch last night in Soho? So she stars in the movie as well, and both of them do pretty good in my opinion for like the script they're given, and they play siblings.
What's
so
the
it's go ahead.
What's the in-universe name for the rapper character?
Mid-size sedan. And like, and like when they said that, I had like I'm watching it with subtitles too. Obviously, I watch it with subtitles more. So like they said that, and then I'm like, are the subtitles wrong or is that actually his name? So then I had to like go rewind it. And I was like, this is actually this guy's name.
You've never heard of a rapper ever? Like. That's like
that was so bad.
That's
dude.
worse than the in-universe name for the rapping character in Tropic Thunder, Al Pacino. Like,
yeah, it was bad, dude. So like, I was like, and then the whole time, obviously with M. Night, I'm kind of waiting for like the twist reveal.
Yeah.
Thinking like, okay, like, is it like pollution? Is it global warming? Like, what is it? You know what I mean? And then, nonetheless, they end up showing it, and yeah, I don't know, not a great movie in my opinion. Got to those two. Still chugging through Stranger Things. I'm on episode 5 now, I believe. It's good. It's good. I don't know if it's my favorite season so far. And I'll probably go ahead and finish it, but it's not capturing me the way the first 2 seasons did. 3 seasons did. So going through that, then outside of that, YouTube, I've been on a crazy binge of Komodo dragons for some reason. I don't really know why.
Komodo dragons are sick.
I'm sorry?
Those are sick. They're awesome.
Oh, yeah. And they're terrifying. So those things are like, I watched one, it like basically ate a monkey whole alive. And it was, interesting. Those things are terrifying, man. Those things like bite you and then like follow you for miles.
I feel like I've seen one. I feel like I saw one at a zoo one time.
I've never seen one
maybe it was
in person or at a zoo, but those things are big too, man. Those things get to like, I don't know, it's like 7 feet long or some shit like that. And
they don't fuck around.
They're only on the one island, right? The island of Komodo?
Yeah, correct. So they're there. They're the apex predator there.
Do people live
there? There's got to be some small human populations, right? I don't think it's anything that's advanced by any means, but
I'm just like, imagine you're just like walking to work and there's just a Komodo dragon on your driveway or something.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh god, here we go
again. I could imagine they're probably not super deadly to humans. I mean, I don't know, but most of the things it seems they consume are like deer, monkeys.
I feel
so they will pretty much attack anything. It's kind of like a bull shark. They'll pretty much just try anything. Like they don't really give a shit.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like if like versus a human, right? If they were to bite you, there's so much bacteria and just nasty shit in their mouth, that is what's going to kill you. They don't have venom. They don't have like an overly powerful bite or anything like that. There's just so much nasty shit in their mouth that if they bite you, it's more than likely just going to infect you and you're going to die.
Yeah, Ty's right. So that seems to be their preferred method of hunting. So that they'll follow you around for a few hours. Eventually you collapse. And then they just go on to consume you whole like a snake. So yeah, it was crazy, man. I was watching monkeys like scream while they're being like stuffed down the throat of an animal. It was really bizarre. And I was like, that's one of an animal, of course, love nature. And like those were some of the more gruesome like deaths I've seen in the animal kingdom. It was really bizarre.
All right, so I'm going to say if I have the option not to live on Komodo Island, I'm going to take that choice.
I don't do it. But yeah, that's it. Finished up, was that the NBA Finals finished last week, so that was unfortunate. It was going for the Boston Celtics. And
ring number 4, baby.
That's it, man. Yeah, that's all I got to. Adam?
As you can imagine, I didn't get to much, but like I said earlier, I got to Obi-Wan episode 3. We'll continue to catch up and finish that out. Probably, I'm hoping to get to. I think the season finale is out tomorrow. Hoping by next week's episode, I can talk about the season finale. So watch 3 by next week's. But yeah, episode 3 was really good. Little behind the ball on that one, so I won't talk too much about it, but really liked it. And of course, the Canadian Grand Prix, really good race, except if your name is Sergio Perez. But all around, I feel like there wasn't really many people at the top of the pack that had a bad race. I mean, Charles had to start at the back and got all the way up to 5th or 6th or something like that. And Hamilton 6. Okay, Hamilton got his first podium of the season, which was dope. Second. Where else was he?
I don't remember, but I do remember reading that this is his second.
Okay, I take that back then. So he got his second podium, and then Sainz in second. That's good for him. Almost pulled it out against Max, but it ultimately wasn't enough. Got really lucky with that safety car, but no, all around really good race. It was fun to watch. I was really pleased, and can't wait for the next one. But that's about it for me as far as what we're watching goes. So we can get on into the main review segment here. Nathaniel, listener here is new, or maybe they've just forgotten. Can you give them a rundown of how our review segment works?
What up, listeners? If you are new, or perhaps you've just forgotten, here's how the rundown on our main review segment works. It's split up into 2 sections. The first section is the non-spoiler section. It's pretty self-explanatory. In the non-spoiler section, we'll go over the IMDb page, the summary of it on IMDb, that's all the letters there. Cast, crew, director, all that good stuff. Give our first initial thoughts, go around the squadron. We have to recommend the movie, or we have to not recommend the movie. It's a yes or no question. And from then on, it'll be spoiler time. So if you don't want to have anything spoiled for you, pay attention to the show notes and for the spoiler noise, but do come back at the end of the episode where we rank everything on the Entropy list, which is our big list of everything we've watched on the podcast, ranked. Also in spoiler time, we'll talk about any spoilers or our deeper thoughts on the movie. So, yeah, obviously. But, Adam, tell me about Lightyear.
Oh, I would love to. Or as I called it last week, what did I call it? Lightning? Something like that. I don't remember. But yeah, this is Lightyear. This is a new Pixar film, rated PG, with a runtime of 1 hour and 40 minutes and an IMDb rating of 5.1 out of 10. Directed by Angus MacLane, written by Angus MacLane, Jason Headley, Matthew Aldrich. Let me see if there's any other story credits here.
Kiki Palmer.
I think that's an acting credit.
I'm doing writing credits here. So story by Angus MacLane, screenplay by Jason Headley, and then a bunch of other story credits as well. Starring, of course, Chris Evans as Buzz Lightyear, Kiki Palmer as Izzy Hawthorne, Peter Sohn, Taika Waititi, Dale Suze? I don't know. I feel like I should know that. I think just Suze. James Brolin, Uza Abuda, sorry. It's Aduba. Wow. I'm really struggling this week, I guess. And I think that's pretty much it. Bill Hader's in there. And yeah, I think that's mainly it. Pretty small voice. Q-Cat, is that what you said?
No, it's Bill Hader the cat.
No, Bill Hader is Featheringhamson.
Oh, okay, that's why I didn't really notice. He's in
The
there for
cat.
all
The cat is Peter's son. Who? Let me see if you recognize him.
Sucks.
Sucks. Yeah, he's in Up, Ratatouille, and Monsters U. So it looks like he just does a bunch of voice acting for Pixar. Might be why you recognize the voice. Just you probably know a bunch of other stuff. Anyway, the IMDb summary reads as follows. While spending years attempting to return home, marooned space ranger Buzz Lightyear encounters an army of ruthless robots commanded by Zurg, who are attempting to steal his fuel source.
Thoughts?
It's decent summary, I guess. I don't really. Yeah, I guess that's what happens. Like, I don't know. I'm like thinking if there's places for me to fill in, but I mean, not really. Buzz Lightyear gets stranded on a planet, and he has to attempt to make a fuel source to power the ship that is stranded on the planet, and then get them back home and on their way, essentially. And that is the mission he is determined to complete. And as this IMDb summary states, we are met by Zurg, who is got other plans, essentially.
The
Who would
evil
have thought?
Emperor Zurg. Well, you're missing the conceit of the movie, which is in 1995, a boy named Andy went to see a movie about Buzz Lightyear, and this is that movie.
Yeah. So essentially, you've probably seen Toy Story. This is the in Toy Story universe movie of Buzz Lightyear. This is the movie that Andy saw and fell in love with and wanted to get, and the reason he wanted to get a Buzz Lightyear toy.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's essentially the premise on that end of things. What are our thoughts here, guys?
It's okay. It's better than all the flack it's getting, right? But I think we know why it's getting all the flack. So I'll say that much. As far as this being the movie that Andy saw that made him want to get a toy, I mean, I don't know if it's that good of a movie, but
yeah, that's
yeah. But overall, it's all right, man. Not top tier Pixar by any means, but definitely doesn't deserve all the flack it's getting, I think.
Fair enough.
What do you guys think?
I didn't realize this was getting a whole lot of flack because I just typically don't read anything about movies. I really don't follow anything that has to do with movies. I just kind of like to go into things as blind as possible. I didn't mind this at all. I will say it doesn't have like any deep emotional ties or anything like that. Like, you know, you probably maybe could have. But you know, I guess they tried a little bit with the time, but it doesn't really hit home for a lot of people. You know, I think this is just a way to get Buzz on screen, which is cool. I like Buzz Lightyear. I like the fact in the beginning that they obviously do state that this is the movie that Andy watched. I don't think it looked this good. But yeah, you know, it has some redeemable qualities about it. But you know, other than that, it was okay. It's definitely not terrible, but like you said, Blake, it's definitely not top tier Pixar.
Yeah, this movie confuses me a lot. In that, like, the more I try and think about it, the more it like feels like I start like chasing my own tail in some points, because it's like I just don't understand who this movie is for and like who its target audience is. Because like when I look at it one way, I can kind of like chart it as like, if you're us, and I guess I should preface this of just being like saying and reiterating again, the original Toy Story is one of those DNA movies for me, in that it is right up there with Jurassic Park as like one of my favorite movies of all time. Without a doubt, like I'll have a Toy Story tattoo at some point or something, you know, like love Toy Story. But anyway,
just get Andy on the bottom of your foot.
Oh no, I want to have the.
That's what I was gonna say.
I definitely want to get the.
I hurt like hell.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah,
I don't
it'd
have
be
a tattoo,
so
but
painful.
I can imagine that is very painful.
I want to get the the bit in Toy Story 1 where they're like, when he and Buzz are flying at the end of the movie, and he's like, Buzz, you're flying. And he's like, it's not flying, it's falling with style. I want falling with style on that. Like,
yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, Toy Story is amazing. Anyways, that's a movie that I've grown up with. And if you are of that generation, you grew up with those movies. It's kind of that first franchise that it feels like that did that. Whereas like we were all graduating from high school when Toy Story 3 was coming out, and a lot of us were graduating from college when Toy Story 4 was coming out. And so like I can kind of chart the message in that way of like this movie being, it's about moving on or not letting life pass you by, and making choices and doing something with yourself, whatever, even though it might not be what you think you're doing. But that's fine. But as a movie for a kid in 95, that's not a message or anything that, like, again, makes me think, well, I want to buy Buzz Lightyear. It doesn't measure up to the conceit with that in that sense. And then it's also, like, if I look at it from the economic standpoint, it's like, I don't know, man. It's just not a great look when the last movie we had in theaters for Pixar was Onward, which is this kind of, like, targeted at mid-boy, teen, preteen kind of boy movie. And then you put Soul, the one with the, person of color lead character, and then you put Turning Red, the minority lead character, and Luca, the minority lead character, all on to streaming services, and then we come back with Lightyear in theaters with its straight white male protagonist, and it's targeting to preteen, teen boys, and it's just like, what are we doing here, boys? Too like, so all of that aside, as a movie, it's okay. It's pretty good. Like, I enjoyed my time. There's points in it that I definitely want to talk about in deeper thoughts or whatever. But as a message, it was fine for me. I don't think a kid's going to enjoy it. And it was a nice enough time at the movies. But, yeah. Adam?
I didn't really enjoy this movie. I think it's fine, but that's so disappointing for me because it's a Pixar movie and I expect so much out of them. And this is probably very quickly going to sink to the bottom of my Pixar list. And I think eventually they're not going to hit them all. That's not attainable, and they've been hitting them for so long that maybe this is just one that slipped under it, and that's fine. For me, this movie lacks a lot of substance in some areas, and an overall emotional or deep impact either to the characters or the story or whatever it is. There wasn't much that was hitting me very hard, and I am someone who really enjoys Toy Story, and has cried during I cried during Toy Story 3. I love these characters and I love Buzz, but there was just something missing in this movie that really got my attention or grabbed me either basically throughout the movie. It's something that usually should get you in the beginning and then kind of carry you through, or even if it doesn't come through halfway or even further on. I was just expecting there to be something that got me on board throughout the entire time, and then as we got closer and closer to the third act and the third act came and went, I just felt like I was like, what, I don't have any kind of there's nothing gripping me here. And at the end of the day, it's a kids movie, so I can't really be too upset about that because it's not necessarily for me specifically and in my generation or whatnot. But I just felt like there's something missing in this movie that I can't quite put my hands on, or I can't quite point to what I would change. But I just nothing really gripped me, and I think that's at the kind of the core issue for me with this movie. But it's not bad, it's just not great. And when you have Pixar trying to take a crack at one of their most beloved characters, it has to be great, and it just wasn't. And I think that's just a little unfortunate. As far as my recommendation goes, I honestly I don't know. I don't think I'm a recommend. I think I'm a not recommend on this one. I like it. It's hard to say.
That's fair.
Scandal.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I don't know. Didn't vibe with this one very much, and I really wanted to, but I did not. I will say also I don't understand why you don't just get Tim Allen. back to do Buzz. I don't really get the choice to go with Chris Evans here because I like Chris Evans and I don't think he did a bad job, but I think that was another part of it too, where I was just like, I am so used to this character sounding like this, acting like this, and having this personality because of Tim Allen, and the fact that it didn't have any of that, I think missed a lot for me personally.
Yeah, I would say that. I feel like that comes down definitely more to like a taste thing. I didn't really have a problem with them recasting that, especially too. I feel like going into it with like the idea of this being the movie that it was based off of, because like if you bought an action figure in the 90s, it was not voiced by Tim Allen. Like even the Buzz Lightyear action figures weren't. Like it just wasn't a thing, I think, too. So I'm okay with that. And I think the director even came out and said like, you know, this is a little bit different thing. In the Toy Story universe, he's grown at this point, so he has more comedic timing, and he's a little bit more of a goof in that one. Whereas this one, we wanted to have someone who has like the ability to be sarcastic and that kind of stuff, but also have a little bit more gravitas to it. And I think Chris Evans does I almost said Hemsworth. Chris Evans does a pretty good job overall as a Buzz. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was okay. I'd still recommend, I think, overall. But I think that's mainly for socks. I'm a big socks fan.
I'm also a big socks fan.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I think I would lean towards recommend. Yeah. Like I said, not my favorite movie, but I've recommended worse shit. So.
And that is the most highest ring endorsement we can give on Back Row Banter. Do you recommend this movie? I've recommended worse.
So it's with that logic, I gotta recommend it.
That's funny. Tyler, you recommend?
Yeah, I think so. You know, it's not terrible. I don't know. You know, kind of like to Nathaniel's point, it's kind of hard to determine which demographic they're kind of going towards, because obviously it's a Pixar movie, so you would think children, but I just don't. What age are you trying to grasp this overall concept? And you know, obviously there's funny parts in there, but like if you're kind of going more towards like a kid, there's a little bit more like, you know, farts and you know, shit like that that you know a kid's gonna like laugh at. But like, you know, even like Sox's humor, it was still a little bit more on the adult comprehension side. But I mean overall, yeah, you know, I think it's a good it's decent and it's worth
like,
recommend.
I watched Toy Story in 1995 as a 4-year-old and loved it. So like by the same logic, if Andy is, you know, 8, I guess, or 9, however he was old in the original movie, and he saw this in 95, he should love that too. So like.
Yeah.
And, you know, the original Toy Story I don't think has any fart jokes in it or anything, but, like, if you're going to start with a new franchise like this or try and restart the Buzz Lightyear franchise in this, I'm just not sure this is the story you tell. Like, I don't think a 6-year-old's going to watch this and be like, I really want Buzz. You're going to want Socks. He's the coolest.
Right, 100%.
Socks is dope. All right, well, I think that is it then for our non-spoiler review here, guys. We're going to go ahead and head into spoilers. So if you've not seen Lightyear and do not want to spoil it for you, go check the episode description where I've left a timestamp you can jump to, where you'll be taken to the ranking of the movie up upon the entropy list.
Up upon.
Spoilers.
Shit goes down. And boy, does it. There's time travel in this. And it's the worst time travel in the history of time travel movies over the last 5 to 10 years, which I feel like is a lot. But, yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb time travel. But I don't care. At the end of the day, I don't care. It is what it is.
Yeah, I guess it is what it is.
Yeah, you know, the only reason I don't... I agree with you. The only reason I don't like it is because like they were obviously traveling through fucking hyperspeed before.
Yeah.
Right.
They knew that was
why was this not a fucking issue that you knew about?
Well, it's just
no. I am right there with you.
She's like, we'll have to figure it out. Like, what do you mean? You would have already figured it out, you idiot.
Yeah, it just it really goes interstellar there for a little bit. Like, they're like, you know what? The kids are gonna love the plot to Interstellar told with Buzz Lightyear.
Agreed.
And you know what? He's not going to get any cool alien buddies, but he's just going to have 3 other humans with him. And, oh yeah, the planet's going to have vines like the ruins, but they're never going to be an issue. We're just not going to bring it up.
Yeah, it's only a funny issue.
Yeah, it's only comedic relief. Yeah, the hostile planet we're living on.
There he goes. There he is. We'll get you in a minute, man. It's not a big deal.
Don't worry. As long as the vine doesn't run out and we chop it in time, you'll be fine.
And then the one bug flying into the electric fence, like he clearly could have gone over the fence.
Just like, you need to go like 3 feet higher, bud. Just 3 feet higher.
Listen, they're not smart bugs.
It's not a perfect movie by any means, right? I mean, I think,
and it doesn't need to be.
No, right.
Perfect. Like there are certain things I'm just gonna let go, and like that's fine.
Yeah, I didn't even realize like at the start too, and I again talking as like a big Toy Story fan, like that he didn't have his laser or his wings on his back until
those were evolutions,
right? Until they like full Han Solo'd it, and they were like, "All right, Mr. Buzz Lightyear." I'm surprised we didn't get one of those. They're like, "What's your name?" Barry. No, that's a terrible Space Ranger name. We're gonna call you Buzz. But no, we got the hero moments for the jetpack and the laser, which were cool, And the one guy Taika Waititi got his pen, which I enjoyed.
That was a good bit.
Good bit.
I just wish, like, you have a Buzz Lightyear movie, and this is the story you tell. Like, this is the story that you're gonna build the Buzz Lightyear mythos off of, because I just don't buy it. It wasn't like exciting. There wasn't anything like really like super fun or like really cool that he did or anything like that. I would have much rather seen like, was it Starfleet or Starfield?
Starfleet.
Starfleet, yeah. Like, what does Starfleet Command look like? What is what do their mission operations look like? What does a whole squadron of Space Rangers look like? Like, they could have done so much cool stuff with it, and instead they just self-handicap themselves by saying we're gonna have the whole movie take place on one planet. That to me was a big miss, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I don't know. I didn't mind that kind of portion of it. I guess for this one, I don't know. A lot of this movie, I just kind of gave a pass, and there was a lot going on in my own week too. So I'm sure that probably had something to do with it as well. But it's just kind of like a decent movie to pass an hour and a half with, in characters that I kind of felt like I knew, or was kind of a new take on those characters. I was okay with that. I like the Taika Waititi character. He was fine. Disney still is doing their one gay character, which is always a black female, which is really fun.
2 birds with one stone, Nathaniel.
I have noticed that. Yeah, that's actually the first thing. I was like, man, they just get all the diversity out, right?
Yeah, right.
Put it on the same person. Fuck it.
Right, and then they're like, oh, and then they take it one step further because, of course, her partner seems Asian, or she's referenced to as Grandma Kiko.
Is another minority.
Yeah, right, yeah, you get another minority in there too. So, woo! Make Buzz Lightyear gay. Fuck it. What? It doesn't matter. The toy seems to be different, anyways. Which, this is an odd thing. Why are the lines that are repeated between the 2 movies not the lines that are part of the toy recordings? So, like, you press Buzz, and his things is like, Buzz, Lightyear to the rescue, or I'm Star Command, or, something like that.
Right.
But then the lines that come over between Toy Story and this movie are bits where he's like, you're mocking me, aren't you? Or, like, there's no sign of intelligent life anywhere. But the toy doesn't say that. Or the toy doesn't have that recorded in it. That's just a thing that the toy says, who I guess thinks he's Buzz Lightyear, but that's some intense parallel thought that's going on there as well.
Yeah. A lot, right?
Yeah, I didn't even think that far. That's a big brain right there.
What do you guys think about the reveal of Zurg being Buzz from the future?
I don't. I mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't mind it, but at the same time, like the picture that's been painted of Zurg before all this is just it's not Buzz. It's like his own separate like supervillain, and I think you lose a little bit of that
You 100%
pizzazz when you just find out it's him in a
Yeah,
robot
right?
suit. It's like,
It's
well,
so
okay.
lame.
Felt very.
Zurg does seem like a menace. They portray him as like a super bad guy in all the Toy Story films.
Yeah.
And then it's just old Buzz. That was so disappointing.
Felt very up at that part too, where he kind of like meets his hero and then like he disappoints him. Like,
yeah.
And it was a little bit of that too, where Buzz meets the ultimate version of himself, which I still don't understand how that works. Is that an alternate reality Buzz? Is it some form of Buzz has gone into the future so far, but when did that Buzz split off from our Buzz?
I forgot what the paradox is called, but it's like, if a time traveler gets a key from himself in the future to like open a door, well, where did the first one get the key from? You know what I'm saying?
It's a chicken and the egg scenario.
Basically, it's like, when did the first timeline happen that the time traveler got the key to open door and then went back to give it to him?
Right.
And that started the loop for everything else. It's like, I forgot what the paradox is called.
I don't know. It just makes me really want to go out and buy a Buzz Lightyear toy because it's my favorite movie of all time. I'm being negative on it here at this portion, but I did enjoy it, and Socks is really cool.
Yeah, I think like the big thing here is, as an adult, there's too many loopholes and too many continuity issues, and we've obviously been invested into Toy Story for this to really make sense to us, or to like, for us to even really care about it, which is why I think it, and like how Nathaniel said, it kind of gives like a little bit of a pass. But and obviously they're kind of it's geared towards kids, and I don't think kids are obviously going to be able to put together the continuity issues or the loopholes that are in there. Like, kid doesn't fucking care, how the other Buzz got there. They're just like, oh shit, it's all so it does suck because we're coming at it from obviously a different point of view. And it wasn't done very well as a whole, from a plot.
I will say
standpoint.
this will be my final thing for longer thoughts, because I feel like I've talked a lot. But as I was watching this movie, there was a kid that was probably in the pretty much target demographic right behind me, 7, 8, somewhere in there. And there's a bit in this movie where I think they're falling out of the spaceship when they're getting back into orbit or whatever. And like Buzz is like out of it, and like I think he like holds on to the end of it and then is like kind of flapping in the wind or something. And the kid behind me just goes, "Whoa, when did this go all Uncharted?" And I just a silent tear just went down the side of my face. And I was like, cinema is dying. And, and I was like, you know what? At least the kid's making connections between other things he's seen, and he can recognize when they've been inspired by something else, or he's understanding, how people cheat from other movies to other movies. And I was like, fair enough. Maybe Uncharted will be, the next generation's guilty pleasure.
That's crazy.
Which I don't believe in. But yeah. There you go, folks.
Sad. That kid's actually gonna grow up to be the guy I saw on that plane flight to Dallas who turned off Dune to put on the Eternals. Right. That's that kid in 30 years from now is who he's gonna grow up to be.
Just the majority of moviegoers.
For sure, man. Gotta love it. The masses, as they say, right?
That's right.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't think we got a deep dive on it. It's okay. Ton of things that can be done better to our point. I think it's, well, for one, it's getting a lot of flack. Obviously, we know due to diversity and due to a same-sex kiss or same-gender kiss or whichever term you want to use, which is just unfortunate, right? Because at the end of the day, like, there's people on Earth who just happen to be gay, and that's completely fine. And that's fine to be portrayed in movies. That's fine to be portrayed in art, music, whatever. And like, I don't know, man. There's still just a large portion of people who aren't okay with seeing that. So it's unfortunate, but
Yeah,
that's another reason this movie's getting a lot of flack too, which I actually kind of commend them for adding that because one, that took a lot for them to do that, for sure. And then two, at the end of the day, stuff like that should be in movies because like if you go outside, you'll see that.
Literally saw it yesterday. Why is that? Like, why the fuck?
Right. Why is that not included in movies? You go outside, you talk to people, you meet people. People have different sexual orientations. That's completely fine.
Yeah. I will say, like, I don't love this movie. I think it's fine, but for that to be a critique on this movie is the dumbest thing in the world. And if you don't like this movie because of that, you should reconsider a lot of things.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. Does anyone else have anything big they want to say before we get on to spoilers here?
Socks is cool.
Yeah, you know, I will say, you know, there's some redeemable qualities. Obviously, this movie looks really good.
It does.
Yes.
Voice
the
acting.
Food looks awesome.
The food is hilarious.
You want
just like just the boxes in the cabinet, opens it, and just like cracks it in half, and then it just fills up. Like that's fucking cool.
You want your meat sandwich?
Meat sandwich. Yeah.
That's hilarious. It's obviously got some really good humor in it.
It does. It's got some good bits in that.
I did say voice acting was done really well. I do like Chris Evans as Buzz. I think they did a very good job with him.
Yeah, I like Chris Evans as well, for sure.
I should maybe clarify what I said in non-spoilers. I like Chris Evans here, but I just would have preferred to know. It's not that I thought he was bad. I just would have preferred to know. I think I should maybe qualify that a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah. But yes, the movie definitely looks incredible. The lighting and everything that they've done, just reflections, shadows, everything like that. They really played into the space thing with like using the sun and that lighting in space, or you know the different planet lighting. Everything was really good in that regard for sure. And every movie continues to get better aesthetically from Pixar, and I have to commend them for that as well.
Yeah, what they're able to actually portray is crazy when it comes to animation.
Right.
Oh, it was
like that's one thing you can at least really appreciate in this movie.
I think it was in
just seeing the. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought, Blake.
Yeah, I was just seeing the growth that Pixar has from watching movies from the '90s, so on and so forth. You know, to now it's like, oh my god, the things they can do, and like you just sit there like in theater, and you're like, man, that's got to be crazy fucking hard to do. You know, like you have an appreciation for it. So go on. What were you saying?
Oh, it was. I can remember like the famous thing is that in Toy Story 1, like Andy was the only character model for children, so they're all just the same character model with either like long hair or like short hair or something, or different hairs. So like they could be different children. But now I remember I was watching the credits of this movie, and the end credits are like these kind of, it's laser etching the names of the different people into the like a piece of metal or something, or like the side of the ship, and they have lens flare from the CGI laser that is like etching onto the side of this metal. You're getting actual CGI created lens flare on this thing, like we are just filming it with a camera. I'm just like, what the hell is going on at this point?
It's good, man.
I noticed the lens flare kind of stuff because that's throughout the movie. If you look for it, it's there where you're kind of getting a lot of glare and stuff. They definitely, I think Pixar chooses one thing to focus on technologically in each movie to improve upon. And I think that's, kind of been established. And this one, it seems like they were just like, let's go boss the walls with lighting and ray tracing and all that kind of stuff. And yeah. Definitely get on that regard.
I like the design of the universe as well too. They're like, it was kind of like that like boxy kind of like style, and there was like a lot of hexagons everywhere, and it felt like a good mish of like Star Wars and like what also you would think the Toy Story version of Star Wars would be and everything.
Definitely.
I like this little Ivan thing, and he blew into the cartridge. That was a good bit, but
that was a good bit. Yeah. Lots of good bits. Yeah. All right. Well, let's rank Lightyear up upon, shall we? Welcome back, listeners who skipped over the spoiler segment of the podcast. We're going to go ahead and rank Lightyear up upon the Entropy list. For those of you who do not know, the Entropy list is Back Row Banter's official list of every movie we have reviewed, regardless of genre, regardless of anything else, all on one fantastic list. This is essentially how we rate our movies, rather than do it out of 5 stars, out of 10, whatever it is. We throw up all the movies we review on a list and see how they compare to one another. If you'd like to reference the Entropy list for yourself, you can do so by checking the episode description, where it is linked to my Letterboxd. Okay.
I've thought about this.
Soul is the other Pixar movie we have on here, right? The only other one.
Yes, but you have animated.
Unless Frozen.
Yeah.
That's a Disney though, right?
Those are Disney.
Yes, we have, yes.
I have
Soul
thoughts.
currently stands at
Tomato.
49 out of 106.
I'm going to put this at 72.
72. Below Ghostbusters Afterlife and above Army of the Dead.
Yes.
Interesting.
I feel like in our going by the animated movies, you got Frozen at 47, or Frozen 2 at 47, Soul at 49, Frozen at 55, and that's kind of where I started looking around the Frozen 1, the 55 area. But Conjuring 2, Last Duel, Scream, Die Hard, No Time to Die, those are all just good movies. And then so I kind of saw Black Widow, and I was hemming and hawing there, but then you have The Rock and Tenet, and then Blind Spotting is really where I drew the line, and it was kind of like, okay, this is where the movies are very good from kind of here up for the most part, So Men, Ghostbusters, Afterlife, pretty decent. But Army of the Dead, I think, is where that kind of next tier goes, and I think this movie is just fine and slots in very nicely right there at 72.
Okay. That's interesting because I think I might slot this above Ghostbusters at 71.
Cool.
Which is hilarious because I feel like I was more negative on it than you, but at the end of the day, looking at the movies above and below there, I didn't dislike this movie. I think you're right. That's kind of where it needs to go, is maybe in that spot. I feel like maybe I could knock it down a little bit as I see like A Quiet Place Part 2, but
yeah. That's what caught me.
I think this movie's better than
that and Trick or Treat.
Well, yeah. I mean, those are just the ones that are, travesties. Well, Trick or Treat's the travesty. Quiet Place Part 2.
True.
But Forgetting Sarah Marshall, pretty good. But again, then you get into Mortal Kombat, Candyman. I think this is a little bit cut above those.
I'm sticking at 71. I'm sticking at 71. Blake, Ty.
I'm rocking Tough Man, because obviously looked at the animated films we have. Then I kind of went down and I saw Trick or Treat and Godzilla. And I was like, okay, how do I feel about this? But then I like this more than Uncharted. I think I'm going to have to kind of split hairs here, and I'll go with 80.
Okay.
80. So above A Quiet Place Part 2 and below Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Okay. Ty?
From a personal standpoint, there are some things that are mixed up here, obviously.
Sure.
But I think as far as I really, really want to put this, I think this is better than Men, but I also think Ghostbusters is better than Men. So I actually think I'm going to be kind of right by Nathaniel, and I'm gonna do 73.
73, so below Army of the Dead, above Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Yeah. Army of the Dead wasn't obviously very great, as we have kind of stated, but just from a genre standpoint, I do thoroughly enjoy zombie movies as a whole. And I think there's with Army of the Dead being a little bit more of a smaller film as to set wise, they're in a set location, and they're kind of just built into that little area in Vegas. I think I just like that a smidge better than what this is.
Fair enough. Well, that would leave us at a cumulative ranking of 74, meaning we have to tie break with the Matrix Resurrections. As I stated earlier, Lightyear has an IMDb rating of 5.1, and The Matrix Resurrections has an IMDb rating of 5.7. So
interesting.
It will be ranked below there at 75, with Matrix staying above it at 74, and Candyman below it at 76.
Yeah. It's funny it ended up having to be tie broken. that the word I'm looking for?
Yeah.
With the Matrix Resurrections, and I was like, that movie fucking sucks. Like that was just one of those movies. I'm like, that thing should be lower than 74 if you ask me. But
I mean, it was an even 74 right? if we just want to put it above the Matrix.
No, I'm saying the Matrix should be lower on the list in general.
Oh, okay.
I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, do we want? I mean, maybe it shouldn't even have been tie broken. Do we just put it at 74?
No, man, I'm an advocate of we got to stick to the rules. So.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is usually we do the rules if it's like in between, but I was actually an even 74, and now I'm thinking maybe we don't even need to tie break that. Maybe we just put it above the Matrix.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I didn't think of that. In that case, yes, I don't like the Matrix at all.
Okay. Nathaniel, Ty, do you guys want to put it above?
Ambivalent, go for it.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, cool. Well, let's do that because it was an even 74. I think that shakes out better, and I also do think this is probably better overall than Matrix Resurrections.
Yeah, I'm never watching that Matrix movie again.
Until they have another one. Yeah, gotcha there. All right, well, we have Lightyear then slotted in at 74 upon the Entropy list.
Up upon.
That's all taken care of. Our next review is Independence Day, in preparation of Independence Day, 4th of July. So for all you international listeners, I guess you can try to celebrate vicariously through us, but regardless, watch Independence Day. It's currently streaming on Amazon Prime, so check that out and join us for the review. Nathaniel, any 5-star reviews by chance?
Not so far, sir.
And what do they get if they leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts?
Well, if they were to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, they would get it read out on the podcast Back Row Banter. Right now, I'd be reading it out for you guys. And it could be mean, it could be funny, it could be nice. Just don't be evil. But, anything you want to say to us or tell us about our podcast, just got to give us 5 stars. Otherwise, you won't hear it.
All right. We do not have any emails, but if you want to email in and give us any questions, comments, concerns, grievances, anything of that sort, you can do so by writing into backrowbanterpod@gmail.com. Please share the podcast, share with a friend, a family member, maybe a fellow space ranger or someone you find yourself stranded with on a deserted planet or deserted island, one of the two. I think one of those is more likely than the other here. But nonetheless, you can also follow us on Twitter at BanterRow, on Instagram at BackerBanterPod, and our YouTube, it's just Back Row Banter. Please go subscribe to us there, even if it is not your primary place of listening. BlakeHolder, where can the people find
Yo. Letterboxd, BlakeHolder. You could find me on there logging things. I watch, giving them ratings out of 5 stars every once in a while. Like on something if I really like it. Then if I really, really, really like it, I'll leave a review on it. So that's where you can find me, and that's all I got. Let's go Popcorn Nathaniel.
What up, folks? You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, or Twitter and Letterboxd, at NSGingrick. You can find me on Instagram at NathanielG92. Our other podcast is Sandpiper Tapes. Adam, where can the people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at Aish24 or on Letterboxd at Aish. Tyler, how about you, my man?
Twitch.tv/El Trabajo87. We do have fun there every now and then. And Instagram, Letterboxd, and Twitter, all Tyler Dallas, VID, LES.
I think that's going to do it here for episode 107. Feels like just yesterday we were doing episode 100. Here we are.
We've done 6 episodes in the last 24 hours. We're all tired. I don't know how we got all these movies, but we did. We went so fast in the future that we ended up here.
No, yeah, we reached hyperspeed for sure. We have our 2-year coming up though. The week after Independence Day will be our 2-year ep. So look out for that. And in the meantime, go watch Independence Day. Join us for our review of that next week. Thank you all for listening, especially if you made it this far into the episode. You're my favorite type of listener, and we really, truly appreciate it. Join us next week for our review of Independence Day, and we'll be
the OG Independence Day, that is, as well. What is that, 96?
Yes.
I believe we should probably clarify that.
Not Independence Day Resurgence, which is...
Please, yeah. Don't watch that by any means.
All right, be excellent to each other, everyone, and we will BRB.
Is it me?
Yeah, you're next, bud.
Jeez, that's so weird. I feel like I for some odd reason I feel like I didn't hear Adam, but whatever. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate anything you can do to help us grow. We want to grow. This has been really fun, and we want more people to hear our voices because we're sexy. But be good to one another and spread that love, and we'll be RB.
Oh, okay, my bad. I don't know why this is out of order.
I threw you off.
I threw you off. The slowest sign off of all time.
we'll let Adam. So thanks for listening. As always, we appreciate the love and support. Yeah, as we always say, right? I mean, if you're doing something you love every day, then you're doing it the right way. This is still Pride Month, so very fitting movie for the month we had. And yeah, please be an advocate to those in need. So we'll BRB.
America, ready for another lesson.
I need to order like a mic sock for this mic because this pop filter's not doing anything.
Doesn't it come with one?
Nope.
Oh no, we had the ones that came with the other one.
The XLR ones, yeah. But I don't really feel like ordering a whole ass pop filter just for this thing, and I feel like the wind cover is just gonna be easier.
Makes sense.
I also might have to walk 30 minutes to Best Buy just to return this shit, like tomorrow.
You gotta walk?
Yeah.
No Uber or nothing?
Well, if I pay for an Uber, at that point I'm paying the amount I'm getting back for what I paid for this thing. So it's like I either Uber and I just, pay the exact same amount, or I walk and I actually get my money back.
Whatever. 30 minutes is a good walk. An hour of exercise. That's what they say.
Hour round trip,
Do what I do. Do what I did when I was living in England and just buy a scooter on Amazon and just kick scooter everywhere.
Just have a scooter.
We were the scooter bros.
Scooter.
The scooter boys.
Yeah, we found the most obnoxious ones we could. So when I hit the brake on mine, spark shot out of the back of it, and then my buddies was like, it was like, it had like a little engine on the back of it with a little. You had a flame, and you would press the button on the fan, and it would like turn on, and then the like flame was like a little sock thing, so it like just looked like little fire blowing out.
Hilarious.
But they were like way too small for us. So I bought a pair of vice grips also off Amazon and just vice gripped the handlebars so that they rose up another like 6 inches basically. And I just drove it like a fighter pilot basically. We were real cool, but it was way more efficient than walking, and I didn't have to find a bike rack for it.
There you have it. It sounds like a win to me.
I mean, this is fucking dope. I mean, it's an $80 scooter.
Get it?
I mean, that's a good investment.
That's what I said.
This city is like killing me financially.
Makes sense.
Most cities will.
Yeah.
You can always start dealing crack.
I've seen Requiem for a Dream.
That's a pretty good template. There's an early back row joke there.
Was it? Yeah. What episode was that? Why did we do that movie? Was it recommended? Like, did someone email in asking to do that?
I thought you were like watching it for a class or something.
I don't think so.
I want to say you you requested it or something. Or I could just be completely misremembering it. I have no idea, to be honest with you.
I may have watched it for a class. That actually might check out. I don't remember. The issue with finding a mic cover is like, I don't know how wide this is. It's also like a weird shape.
Just use one of your socks.
I was thinking about that. It sounds like a lot.
Or like a mitten.